Good day, everybody. Got a great half an hour today. We got good news. Visa Bulletin is moved. Everybody knows about that. I'm Sam Shihab with the law firm of Shihab Burke.
Brian Burke from Shihab Burke. Monday, 6 p.m. Here in Columbus, Dublin, Ohio, talking to you about what is a very interesting issue for sure on the Visa Bulletin, right?
Yes. So I was on vacation.
Yep.
I came back. And
your inbox exploded with people going Visa Bulletin, Visa Bulletin, Visa Bulletin.
Everybo's talking about the Visa Bulletin. I started looking at these numbers, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Good news, great news. About time we get some movement, and the movement are numerous,
Yeah.
and they are everywhere. There is only one category that moved back. I think it's China EB5 for some time, very little time, and then everything else has moved forward. And let's dive in, Brian. I'm not going to go ahead and list the dates and the time. Everybody in their own category knows what's going on. Maybe we can hit on the big ones.
Yeah.
Which one that gets your attention, Brian?
Well, you know what? I can never really help but to start with the most backlogged country that there is, and it's India, perpetually. Big old populous country with most populated country in the world, as I recall, and such big immigration backlogs. And the interesting thing for me, Sam, is they have moved the filing dates as well as the final action dates, but I will tell you the filing dates are far more interesting to me because the filing dates are big, giant moves in my book. EB1 India moves a year. EB2 India moves, the better part of a year from February to December. EB3 India, a huge one, gets filing dates all the way up to 15th of August 2014. And I mean, what does that mean? It means we're getting dangerously close back towards October 2020, where they made it to, January 2015 on EB3 India, which is absolutely huge. And finally, EB5, India filing dates there stayed the same. Nobody wants to be in the EB5, the EB5 category that's backlogged anyway for India.
Yeah, and that's the only one that stayed the same. Yeah. Practically no forward movement.
I mean, we get some decent movement on final action dates. EB1 India, stuck where it is. EB2, a couple months, 3 months. EB3. A couple months, and EB5, a good chunk of time for in terms of final action dates. But I guess, Sam, in terms of big leaps in the dates for filing and
very aggressive,
and tiny steps in terms of the final action dates, I can't help but sort of feel more vindicated on how we tend to view these dates anymore. It's basically dates for filing is where you're going to get in the long term, perhaps through the fiscal year. And final action dates are where we're at in that fiscal year right now.
And we enter, obviously, which I honestly believe it's going to be fixed in time. We enter the scenario where the people are filing these adjustments, not knowing their children will be getting the green card. So there's a big movement, and you just have to file. You don't have a choice. You have to pay these exorbitant fees, not knowing that you're going to get a green card.
I was just counseling
for the kids.
Somebody on this today. We haven't even talked about, we talked about the employment categories, but talk briefly about the family categories. The F2A category for the rest of the world was a huge movement. Final action dates for, let me see here. Final action dates for rest of the world F2A are now in February 2024. Where were they? It was in September 2022. That is, a year and a half movement, essentially huge. And that category was stuck. We were just talking about this before we went live here. Yeah.
And that's these are what you're looking at, the final action dates.
Yeah, the final action.
What
dates.
about the dates for filing?
The dates for filing is really big for I'm looking at September.
Yes.
The dates for filing are moved quite a bit. Right now, this is a really cool thing. The F2A dates for filing, rest of the world, the priority date, and this is China and India and everywhere, right, is 22nd of September 2025. So anybody who's out there, you have 7 days. You have 7 days. If you can file an I-130 in the next 7 days, that person will be able to file that I-485 in the month of October. And well, I have a case like that right now. A permanent resident sponsoring 2 of his children. We have the cases about ready to go, and we're going to be filing those before September 22nd.
We're going to have to file the adjustments right away.
In the month of October. Yeah, but not at the same. But he can't do it at the same time because they got to get those dates, those I-130s in before September 22nd.
But you do need the receipt notice, so you got to file it, and you got to get the receipt notice in
during the month of October,
and we don't know what the following month Visa Bulletin looks like, so we're going to have to watch this closely, obviously.
Well, yeah, we're going to have a lot of cases to watch closely because, I mean, fun fact, there's a lot more people. Dates for filing are, for the employment-based categories, I know most of our audience is. I just talked to somebody 4 o'clock this afternoon. She said, well, Brian, my priority dates are current again, and, I asked her the question, well, is there any reason why you didn't file back in October 2020? Well, the answer is, I didn't have an employer. I was not with an employer who would be willing to give me a supplement J at that time. And so all those folks who didn't get to file, it's very interesting to me how close we are to where we hit before in terms of EB3 dates.
Do we anticipate transfer underlying basis?
Yes.
So EB2 filing date is 2013, February 1st.
Yep.
And EB2 is June. Still, the differential is not huge. That's for September. And for August, it moved to December and August. For October, it moved to December and August. But that's a big movement, 2014. August 2014 in EB3.
Yeah.
So I can see a lot of the transfer underlying basis that is going to be
well, of course, the next year, but obviously you got to wait for final action dates on that, which again, not too much. I mean, you get 5 months for EB. Yeah, I guess I see your point. April, it's about 4 months. That's some good territory because we have been doing.
Because they're taking filing dates.
They're taking filing dates right now, but you can't do a transfer on an underlying basis until you get the final action date.
Yeah. Same thing, same differential here. I'm looking at it.
About 5 months.
April to August.
Yeah. Sorry, about 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
Some
of it, not too much.
Yeah.
Some of it, not
so
too much.
I guess, yeah. So the bottom line is everybody out there in our audience is sort of, zeroed in on their own portion of the Visa Bulletin, and everybody knows where the Visa Bulletin is. Does anybody with a backlog priority date knows to watch the Visa Bulletin? I guess, maybe, Sam, we go through what are the issues that are on people's mind right now, and you brought up one of them. Transfer of underlying basis.
I can tell you what the issue is on my mind.
Please.
The issue on my mind as we're going through these cases, Brian, is this administration ultra focus on criminal background.
Yep.
And also lack of discretion, meaning that anytime there is an opportunity to deny, they are denying.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not sugarcoat this, meaning that issues with the filing is not 100% complete, minor discrepancies in the petition, they're just wrapping it and sending it back.
So you're highlighting there's a discretionary component in the processing of I-485s, and basically I-485 adjustment of status green card from inside the United States is an exception from the norm, and it is. What the law sort of expects generally is that everybody gets their green card through the good folks of the Department of State at the consulate, and adjustment of status it's discretionary, and if they are very happy to deny to find problems essentially.
Yes, not only that, but also
criminals. I mean, criminal stuff is
INA 245K being out of status. Hiding being out of status and getting caught is a big deal. So there is going to have to be very careful filing of these applications in terms of being very accurate and very precise. Mm-hmm. So that, because we have an administration that absolutely, I mean, zero tolerance on anything. Yeah. And any opportunity to deny, they are denying.
So they are.
So that would be where I'm at with these cases. So you need to go in with a firm that's careful, that they file these cases properly. Nothing that is filed in haste, that's going to be a concern for me. Yeah. And then anybody that has a problem with your status, with your application, any history that's questionable, you need to be in full disclosure with your attorney to make sure that it's done right. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, on that sort of same note, where is that scrutiny? You know, you're talking about scrutiny in general. I'm thinking where a lot of that scrutiny manifests is in interviews. You know, I expect them to be asking tougher and more thorough questions in interviews.
But these applications today won't see an interview for who knows when. And that's the second part of my concern.
Okay.
Is if you are a person who's been retrogressed and filed now again, or you became current again.
Yep.
So there are a lot of folks out there who have their application filed a while back.
Sure. People whose priority date's just coming up current again, pending I-45s.
Yes.
Okay.
What do? You file a writ of mandamus now?
Depends upon.
You weren't taken out of order in the previous application. Now you've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
And you have an application filed. You may have children that may be aging out.
Would they just
very small,
yeah,
very
but they
small
just changed. I mean, yeah, they really changed the rules on that for sure.
But they're not retroactively. That's the good news.
Yeah.
Not retroactively.
Yeah.
So the concern is, what do you do with those cases?
Well,
and that's a big question.
Yeah, I mean that ranges from, you know, the extreme end is writ of mandamus, and it's not crazy to talk about that, because there's a great question, as we were just sort of talking about. I was working on a writ of mandamus case. You know, this is a consular processing one where they said, you know, 27 months waiting for a visa to be issued to somebody is a perfectly fine amount of time for that at a consulate abroad. It's an interesting question, is how they're going to interpret, you know, well, your priority date was current, and then it wasn't current, and now it's current again. Is a reasonable question for sure.
And also expect potentially that the dates flip to dates for filing, if they're not able to handle the volume.
Back to accepting final action.
Final action. Final action.
Yeah.
Because the problem I have is that the forward movement is very aggressive on all categories. So USCIS is going to be receiving a significant number of adjustment of status.
Yeah, we're going to be receiving a significant number of adjustment statuses first. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, there may be in 2 or 3 months a flip to final action date.
Yeah.
So for those guys who said, you know what, it's time for me to go get married. I'm not going to file my case now. I have to go get married and come back and all that. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, I think just it's a general. I'll elaborate on that further. It's general. Don't dally, because you know all we know right now is that if your priority date's current for the month for filing, if you never filed I-45, you're current for the month of October. Meaning you got to get it out the door right now. I was just talking to somebody, and you know, she said, "Well, should I get my medical exam?" Well, yeah, because they will reject your I-45 without a medical exam at this point. At this point, you know,
Yes.
all these things and more, and you know, it takes some time to get a good I-485 together. I mean, I'm going to be trying to file a bunch of these things, you know, to get there on October 1st. But I'd rather file a good case, you know, on October 2nd
and
versus
gets on October 3rd instead of a case that's rushed coming on October 1st.
Yeah, because
there's no real advantage.
You're the one who has to answer for it, you know, October, you know, 3 years from now when you're in an interview.
And that's really, you bring an excellent point. We get, you know, a lot of our clients understand that we go through a process and we do double and triple reviews.
Yep.
And many law firms do the same thing. Not all of them, but many they do. And it does take time to get a complete application together to go out that is as perfect as humanly possible to be filed. Then you get a call from somebody and say, I need my case filed on October 1st. I'll pay whatever money you want. And we just say, it's not about money.
Yeah.
We cannot take you.
I've already had that conversation today. You know, somebody would email to me and I talked to her. I said, you know, and how can we get this out ready in 1 week? And I said, we can't even file it in a week. We're 2 weeks away from the end of October. Yeah, it's for the end of September.
And those guys, you know, once you give them a list of documents that they need, they're gone. You know, for 10 days, and then they come back running. Yeah. So we don't want to give people unreasonable expectations.
Yeah.
Don't give yourself an unreasonable target. Focus on getting things right and file it in the month of October. You know, earlier in the month of October as reasonably possible, yes. But I got to get this thing on October.
You're never going to achieve the perfect case, but the other extreme is the incredibly fast case, and there's a reasonable balance between these things.
Absolutely,
you know?
yes. So we have given this enough time to talk about the Visa Bulletin and the dates, and we are going to turn our attention to answering your questions. We have a website called immigrationquestions.us. Now, why do we have immigrationquestions.us? I'm not sure if this thing is linked anymore.
No, I think the thing's turned off, but here it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Excellent. So why do we have it? You can post questions during the week, and we will try to email you back or answer them live here on our following YouTube session.
Yeah.
Now, also there's somebody else contacted me and said, Sam, you need to also tell people. One listener contacted me. He said, with current social media paranoia, where everybody's watching everybody.
Yep.
A lot of people are not comfortable posting their question online.
Sure. Yeah.
Because they say, oh, well, they're going to say, well, my H1B this, my H1B that, and now you have to declare your handle and your social media information, and with AI.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So people are getting nervous posting things online, and I understand it. So this is an opportunity. You're not required to put your email address. You're not required to put your name. We do not need to know anything about you. You can drop your question in immigrationquestions.us, and we will bring it here and answer it. And this way, you're safer, I think, in the current paranoid environment.
Yeah, we won't discuss those things from.
But be that as it may, let's take the first one live, Brian, and then we'll go to immigrationquestions.us and take it.
Yeah, we have a couple of fresh immigrationquestions.us questions. So, from Gangadhara. India, EB2, EB3 priority date 2025, June 11, any time sooner to file. So I'm understanding this question in a pretty straightforward way. It's basically, I am born in India. I have a priority date from June 2025. June 2025.
Not coming yet.
The answer is no time in the near future. Confidently,
Not yet,
the backlog is about 13 years. 12 years at this point.
Yeah. So I have somebody here who has some numbers who is going to share with us and discuss it. We'll listen. Yeah. As per USCIS inventory acceleration, I guess, roughly 1,000.
It's like Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, Excel spreadsheet. Okay. Roughly 1,000 Indian applicants are waiting visa for each month onwards of January 2013. EB2 priority date. EB2 India has an annual limit of 3,000. Why did they cover 10K?
With regards to
filing dates.
Yeah.
That's a
that's the question Sam Shihab in his office, like about 20 minutes before this as we were talking about this, is how can they do that?
Yeah. I mean, when we talked about that, we said, what the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck? What is right?
Yeah.
That's what we said.
I had no good answer
and
for you.
And you give me an answer, and I said, no, I can give you other answers, and we start talking about, is there a change in the administration, change in the attitude? Clearly, it's not numbers, but maybe last year, again, 100% speculation. 100% speculation. Last year, they couldn't hit the target. They lost numbers. We do not know. We do not know until they publish it. And now they're saying, okay, we need to be more aggressive.
I mean, all bets were on the table for this Visa Bulletin. Sam, I thought maybe they will get rid of dates for filing. The dates for filing just appeared one day. I don't think they're provided for by regulation. I'm not sure if they added it via regulation.
It's not in the regulations, dates for filing, and it has caused more headache.
It causes more difficult questions, that's for sure.
Yeah. Be that as it may.
Some more from Nidhi here.
Yeah. Same trend in EB3 India. While annual limit is 3,000, their filing date seems to be covering 10,000 applicants as per USCIS inventory awaiting visa availability. Why?
Why? Why?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and whether the 3,000 and the 10,000 number he's sharing deals with, does it count family members? Because if you're counting family members, you got to multiply that by 2.1 or something.
2.5 was. I think we back in October 20, we came with a perfect number, which
2.5,
which have to figure it out, but like 2.5, something along those lines.
So I mean, those are good questions, and we are asking the same questions, and we do not have an answer to these questions.
Yes. From Sai.
Did you like? Go ahead, Brian.
Priority date July 2014. I was with employer A in 2020. Filed I-45 under EB3 when my dates became current. late in 2022, when EB was current, I did a tub with I-485J since I had EB2 I-140. It sounds all with that same employer. Okay. I'm now with the employer. Assuming that I am in the EB2 queue now, what options do I have when my dates are current in EB3? Do I file another tub, or do I need a new I-140, I-485 since it's a new employer? So I'm going to maybe boil this down in the way I'm understanding it, Sam. It's basically, I left employer A, the one who holds my I-140s, via a portability while I was in the EB2 category. How do I get back down to EB3? Right?
We've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, that's how I see it. So what does he do to be able to jump back to the EB3 category?
If you need to tub back to EB3, you need the cooperation of employer A, is the bottom line, right?
Well, more than cooperation, you need a bona fide job offer.
Bona fide job offer and assigned supplement J, which is all the same thing.
Meaning you have to go back to the first employer, which resets the 180-day portability.
When you do a tub, yeah.
Yeah. Now, it could be a future employment, but it has to be a bona fide job offer and a bona fide acceptance of job offer.
Yeah.
And the employer should be able to sign off on it. And then 180 days later, if things change, you can move on. But you cannot do it in a prearranged situation.
Yeah,
because
you have to be intending to go back. Yeah, bona fide job offer,
Yeah.
So a little bit more from Sai. One more question. My spouse was on H-1B, moved to H-4 during her job search, and now joined a new employer with H-1. Her H-4 is still pending. What are her options if it gets approved?
Well, the H-4, so one of my questions, my spouse is H-1B, moved to H-4 during the job search, and now joined a new employer with an H-1.
So the H-4 is still pending, and then the H-1B was approved.
Is the H-4 a bridge or not?
That's the question for me. Basically,
right. It looks like it's not a bridge because he moved to another employer to start working.
Yeah.
So there may be an overlap in date, but is there a...
Well, but if they went behind the grace period, essentially, it becomes a bridge.
Then what's the gap between the two?
Yeah.
And if the gap is less than 60 days, it's fine. More than 60 days, it's a bridge, right?
Yeah, and all that was very complicated.
Well, not enough information. If the H-4 is a bridge, it must be approved, and you cannot start working for Company B.
And ultimately, depends upon the H-4 approval notice they give, because if the approval notice,
I'm sorry to disturb, it depends on the H-1B filing date. So if the second H-1B filed within the 60-day grace period,
I agree.
You can just say, the heck with
not
H-4.
filed, but you started working during the 60-day grace period. Yeah,
filed and start working. So yeah, it's complicated. There's a lot more to it. You need to consult with an attorney on that one.
Yeah.
Let's jump in on the immigrationquestions.us and give that some love.
Yes. Short answer is I-94 questions. Those things sure are complicated. There it is. Here it is.
All right, so again, immigrationquestions.us is you can drop those questions during the week. Some people drop them as we're during the presentation. We may or may not catch them, but again, we try to include those as much as possible. Again, it protects your privacy. You don't want to go live on YouTube and post these questions. We will not use your name. And it's not you can put anything there. You can put Superman, for example. That's not a social media handle. You can put anything, so you can be recognized. It'll be something that you and only you know about. So, but that protects your privacy. But here's one question.
So here's the question. You go ahead, Sam, and I'll refresh.
How many days after documentarily complete an interview done and medical current can we anticipate card in mail? EB3 India. Priority date 6/2013. So I'm assuming this is not documentary complete because that's a Department of State language. I think that's an adjustment of status application.
One of those status messages say where like your case is being held or in abeyance or something, waiting for priority.
So this is an adjustment of status question in my opinion. Sure. And somebody got an interview. The medical is current. Everything looks good. And how quick and the visa is available. How quick can I get a green card?
Yeah.
Is 6/2013 priority date is
EB3
current?
India, because they are. Yeah, that's the final action date.
Normally we've seen it come in as quick as in the parking lot after the interview, but it can take a couple weeks if there's a approval from a supervisor.
Yeah. So I mean, so they say interview done. I think they're just saying, well, my priority is going to be clear in October. Should I expect my approval on October 1st? Right.
So again, it depends. So
Yeah.
if the interview happened 2 years ago,
Yeah.
it's worthless now.
Yeah, exactly. They are interviewing people more. We just talked. Joe was just in Chicago with somebody for a second or third interview, and the answer was there was no particular reason for that interview.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah, but if let's assume, well, I mean, he's not current now, so no interview for the current opening of visa availability. So his interview is old.
Yeah.
And because your interview is old, there's really no predictability on the timeline.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has a good answer for you. Is when you right after they say case approved, about 2 weeks after that, that's when I can anticipate you receiving that card in the mail.
Yeah.
It's the sort of thing where you give them a little bit of time, you start being the squeaky wheel, you can contact them, you can put in service requests, that sort of thing, and that's when you start. After that, that's when you start talking about mandamus actions if they're not getting to you, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. So
one more question here from immigrationquestions.us. And this is one we actually, no, I'm sorry, that's not one we answered yet. Just the dates look like somebody else's that we've been in the live chat. Here it is.
my priority date 2015 in June 11, and chances to file in soon. Sorry, I got date wrong.
I think that's the person who put in their 2025 June 11th date. Okay, so I feel a little bit more optimistic for you.
Okay.
So the dates for filing, based upon the name, I'm going to guess, India, especially because that's that old date. Of course, it's going to be India. And 2015 June 11th. So presently, the EB3, the furthest India dates they've gotten to is 15th of August 2014. That's where they're at right now, EB3. And the furthest it's ever gotten is 1st of January 2015 back in 2020. So if our current interpretation of the Visa Bulletin, being that it's a projection for the rest of the fiscal year, is correct, it means you probably wouldn't expect that date to come up in this fiscal year. Yeah.
So hopefully next year.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a couple minutes here. See if we can get anybody else from. Have we taken care of? So some people from immigrationquestions.us, we will reply to your email or get you in the next.
Yeah, I realized I missed another one.
All questions will be answered whether we email you back. If you provide your email address. If you don't provide your email address for your privacy, that's fine, and we will try to bring it here whenever we can.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to answer this one. I'll just do it right quick here. Any insight on recent time frame for H4EA approvals with bundled with an H1B extension filed with premium processing? Here's the insight I can provide. A couple years ago, sometime in 2023, there was a court decision that says, "Hey, you have to adjudicate these
settlement agreement."
A settlement agreement out of court that says you have to adjudicate the H1, H4, and the EAD at the same time as the H1B. I think that expired in the end of 2024, and the bottom line is all bets are off on this going forward in terms of them approving them at the same time.
And dealing with an administration that doesn't give a damn about H4 EAD.
Yeah, I mean, on there, probably somewhere on the regulatory agenda is probably to get rid of it at some point, with something on our paranoia list at least. If they get around to that.
So I mean, in terms of predictability, it's really not something that we can predict.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So do we squeeze one more in? Brian?
I think we got some of these. Let's see, try to find one that's maybe good. EB2, can I?
All of them are good. It's just more new information.
Yeah, EB2, I think that maybe I missed part of this question didn't come through, but we'll try to issue this one. For EB2, or can I downgrade with India priority date 25th April 2014? When can I expect final action date to be current? So 25th April 2014 is basically, I think somebody has a priority date of that point, and can they downgrade? And I think fundamentally the question is, can they file I-485, right? And the answer to this is a conversation I had with somebody today, is the dates for filing for EB3 India are in 15th of August 2014. So during the month of October, you could file an EB3 I-140 if you have a priority date of April 2014, right? At the same time, file a I-485, right? I think that's fundamentally the question there. I think the only other question here
you can do concurrent filing right now.
Yeah.
in October. You
Yeah,
can start working on it
yeah,
now, file it in October.
15 days, it'll be October 1st. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything that's gotten here during our half hour.
And I'm sure there's more will come up in this issue or a different issue in the next Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
we'll probably
we'll be
carry it
back.
on and answer more questions. Remember, immigrationquestions.us for your privacy if you want to post it online, or you can post it during the presentation, and we'll be happy to take both. You guys have a great rest of the week.